from prevention to treatment, from mental health to chronic disease, from everyday habits to life-saving decisions. So why not sit back, lean in, and stay with us? Happy New Year. It's your year to take charge of your health as we begin with the Doctor's Capsule. Let us embrace 2026 with intentional kindness to our bodies, our minds, and each other. Regular physical activity remains one of the most powerful tools we have against chronic diseases such as obesity, diabetes, hypertension, stroke, heart disease, and depression. When you exercise, you're elevating the heart rate, but improving the circulation, strengthening muscles, and most importantly, perhaps, flooding our brains with endorphins that elevate mood and sharpen thinking. Take the stairs instead of the elevator. Do lunges while brushing your teeth. Stretch during those binge sessions in front of TV, or if you're looking at Ask the Doctor. Park a little farther away, and I hope you find your car when you get back. Consistency beats intensity every time, so be consistent when it comes to physical activity. And it's an invitation to reclaim the outdoors in the new year, not just for fitness, but for healing. Make 2026 the year you rediscover Mother Nature as your gym, your playground, and your sanctuary. Walk along the savannah, hike through lush greenery, ride a bicycle, swim in the sea, feel the sun on your face, breathe deeply, listen to the birds instead of the traffic exposure. Look at natural light because that's going to improve your sleep and your mood. Fresh air reduces stress hormones. Green spaces soothe anxious minds. Nature reminds us that life is bigger than deadlines, politics, traffic fines, and WhatsApp notifications. It seems incredible that we ever stopped physical activity during COVID. It seems incredible the great outdoors was actually deemed to be unhealthy. New Year's diets often begin with enthusiasm and end in resentment. Now, don't declare war on food. Why not try curiosity? Explore the colorful world of vegetable-based cuisine. So it's not deprivation. Think about it as discovery. Hearty salads, creative veggie bowls, stir-fries bursting with color. Whether you like beans, lentils, greens, squash, and root vegetables, these nourish our bodies with fiber, vitamins, antioxidants, and joy. You do not need to swear off roti or pilau forever to be healthy. We know food is fuel, sure, but it's also culture, memory, and connection. Now, we live in a world that never switches off. Screens glow, bad news scrolls endlessly. Our brains are overstimulated. Our brains are exhausted. And we're seeing it in children, we'll speak about it later on in the show, perpetually distracted. So what about a radical recommendation for the new year? Unplug. Choose one day in the week, perhaps Sunday, or at least a portion of a day, as your sanctuary of screen-free serenity. Give your eyes a rest from artificial light. Step away from the digital noise. Engage in real conversations. Savor that unfiltered life. Why not read a physical book? We used to be a very literate country, you know, before this mindless scrolling replaced reading books. Take a slow walk, sit with family, and that weekly screen detox does wonders for mental clarity, sleep quality, emotional regulation, and relationships. Take a break from that constant barrage of digital information to restore some level of calm and focus. Start each day with intention, gratitude, and stillness as one of your resolutions for 2026. Create a ritual that sets a positive tone for the hours ahead. 5 minutes of stretching, a brief prayer, meditation, journaling, or simply sipping herbal tea in silence. Jot down what you are thankful for. Acknowledge the gift of waking up and resist that urge to plunge immediately into the rat race. Why not embrace experimentation, infuse these goals with joy, and let wellness unfold as a journey, not a destination. Celebrate small victories. Forgive yourself. Sleep more. Laugh loudly. Move daily. Eat thoughtfully. Disconnect regularly. And reconnect with loved ones deeply. And above all, be kind to yourself and others. If you fall off the resolution wagon, don't dramatize it. Just climb back on. Health is a lifelong conversation. May this new year bring health that feels sustainable, happiness that feels genuine, and surprises that remind you why life is worth celebrating. So we pledge to fall in love with life once more in 2026. It's time for a short break, and when we return, the Kiddies capsule is coming up next.
Get the best back-to-school specials at Southern Food Baskets. Gala apples, 10 for $20. Tyson chicken leg quarters, 11 pounds, $94.95. Sunland chicken breast, 4 pounds, $94.95. Forte Frost street cut fries, 2 for $69.95. Swiss Spouch ketchup, 2 for $19.95. Swiss macaroni and spaghetti, 400 grams, 4 for $19.95. Swiss lasagna, 2 for $23.95. Aquapure, 330 ml, 5 cases for $90. Offers available while stocks last.
Struggling with blood sugar swings, high blood pressure, or stiff joints? Take control with Aja Nutrition's powerful wellness trio. Berberine Plus supports healthy blood sugar. Blood pressure support helps keep your pressure in check. And Joint Aid keeps your joints moving so you can stay active every day. Don't wait. Choose Aja Nutrition for trusted, effective solutions. Available at Pennywise and leading pharmacies nationwide. Feel better, move better, live better with Aja Nutrition.
Welcome back to CNC3's Ask the Doctor. In this fan-favorite segment, it's where curious minds ask big questions, amazing facts come to life, and healthy habits start early. Because when kids learn well, they grow strong, smart, and confident. So get ready to laugh, learn, and discover something awesome about you, your body, your brain, and the superpowers you didn't even know you had. Grown-ups, listen closely too. You might just learn something new. So let's jump right into the Kiddies capsule.
I said to myself as I only can, you can't spend a winter disguised as a man. So I waved the last set of sour cream dip, get rid of the fruitcake, every cracker and chip. Every last bit of food that I like must be banished, till all additional ounces have vanished. I won't have a cookie, not even a lick. I want only to chew on a long celery stick. I won't have hot biscuits or cornbread or pie. I'll munch on a carrot and quietly cry. I'm hungry and lonesome and life is a bore, but isn't that what January is for? Unable to giggle, no longer a rat. Happy New Year to all and to all a good diet. I'm Kelsey listening from Lendo Village Hindu School. This was your Kiddies capsule. Have a great night and Happy New Year. Bye.
My name is Bella Pluto from Lendo Hindu Primary School, and this is your Kiddies capsule. Since we're the month after Christmas and all throughout the house, nothing would fit me, not even a blouse. The cookies I nibble and the eggnog I taste at the holiday parties had gone to my waist. When I got on the scale, there was a number. When I walked to the toilet, I walked in a lumber. I remember the marvelous meals I prepared, the gravy and the sauces, and the baked snacks they wear, the wine and the bubbles, and the bread and the cheese, and the way I never said, no thank you please. And I dressed myself in my husband's old suit and prepared once again to battle the day.
Good evening and Happy New Year. As we embark on this new journey and are planning this year's habits and resolutions, we must remember to keep these self-care tips in action. Get enough sleep, stay active, drink enough water, limit alcohol, quit smoking, eat healthy, and most importantly, mind your mental health. My name is Kavita Sipasad from Saraswati Girls Hindu College, and this was your Kiddies Capsule.
Happy New Year 2026. What do the kids have to say about their New Year's resolutions? And is it healthy? Let's see.
My healthy New Year's resolutions are eat less fast food, go to the gym more frequently, and have a healthier lifestyle.
My healthy New Year's resolution is to focus on my mental health because mental health is just as important as physical health.
My healthy New Year's resolutions are to eat less fast food and eat more healthier food such as fruits and vegetables.
And that was your Kiddies capsule on
Ask the Doctor.
And we're off with a bang this year with the Kiddies capsule. Feel free to send in videos of school-aged children discussing these health-related themes to Uncle Rajiv at 800 CNC3. It's time for a short break, and when we return, the giveaway segment is coming up next.
A mortgage is what helps you turn your dream of owning a home into reality. First Citizens helps you plan for every other cost, such as insurance, maintenance, and utilities. Mortgages build equity, offer long-term investment, and give you freedom to make the space yours. First Citizens is here to help you understand your first steps to a mortgage. First Citizens.
By public demand, the draw date for the 3-car raffle presented on behalf of Queens Royal College is now extended to Saturday, January 24th.
First prize is a luxurious, fully loaded Royal Ride Ford Ranger.
New draw date, Saturday, January 24th.
Tickets only $100.
All tickets already purchased remain valid, and additional tickets at $100 are still available at
IslandEtickets.com. Lewis Appliances, corner Dragon Road and Edward Street. Caribbean Jewelers, Twin City Mall. Mandarin Mini Mart St. Anne's. A. Moses and Sons, 181 Dragon Road. Quaysay Supermarket, Calcutta Road number 2. Strive Restaurant and Bar, Bukarapa Road. Unique Tire Shop, Gopal Avenue, Diego Martin. First Priority Music, Gulf City Mall. SNSR Food Center, Princesstown. Michelle's Arima. Romane's Hardware, Maraval. Cascade Mini Mart. Kelly Supermarket, Diego Martin Main Road. And at the following NP Quick Shops: Morva Junction, Saddle Road, San Juan, and Dinsley Junction.
The deadline for ticket purchase is Monday, 19th January. Get your tickets now.
For more info, call the college at 622-1671 or the hotline at 491-1802.
Welcome back to CNC3's Ask the Doctor. We're live on Thursdays at 8 p.m. with a rerun on Friday at 11 a.m. or Saturday at 11:30 a.m. It's giveaway time with the compliments of Great Health Works. A special hello to Joseph Sandel and the rest of his marvelous team at that particular company. And the phone number's on the screen, just as a reminder that when you're patched into the studio, listen on your telephone rather than the TV set, because there is a delay that creates confusion. So our question this evening is with respect to a type of anesthesia, so a type of pain relief that is injected near the spinal nerves to reduce pain during labor. So that type of pain relief for an expectant mother near the spinal nerves to reduce pain during labor. So the number's on the screen, and as a reminder, listen on your telephone rather than the TV set. Fans of the game show Jeopardy may recognize that a similar question was actually used recently as part of a Final Jeopardy question. So, what type of anesthesia is placed near the spinal nerves to reduce pain during labor? Good evening and welcome to Ask the Doctor.
Hi, good evening.
Hello, welcome, ma'am, and Happy New Year to you and your family.
Is it an epidural?
Indeed, it is. Congratulations, you're a winner tonight. Well done. Have you used these supplements before?
Sorry?
Have you used these supplements before?
No, No, I never did.
Okay, so there's a first time for everything. Congratulations. The epidural is used to ease pain and for various reasons. In this case, it was with respect to childbirth. And well done. Stay on the line because we want to take some of your personal information off the air. So first caller was a winner. Wow, what a cracker to begin 2026. And now it's time for a short break because the Medical Minds segment with a special in-studio guest awaits.
Magical Expressions Limited is the largest local importer and distributor of fresh cut stems, offering the widest range of beautiful flowers at the most affordable prices. Call us today at 701-6488, 701-6680, 728-6786, or visit our website to order.
This is more than just music. This is where you find the best of TNT. This is more than just a vibe. This is where Bollywood gets a twist. This is more than just energy. This is Bhangra and indie pop too. This is the mix. This is the life. Lock on or log on now. Sangeet 106.1 FM. This is authentic East Indian radio. This is us.
Name something you know exists even if you can't see it. Ghost. Ghost.
Good answer, Mom.
Bigfoot. Bigfoot.
Family Feud. Wrong answers and non-stop laughs. Join the madness on Family Feud. Weekdays at 5:30 p.m. only on CNC3. Get the story first. Want to know what's happening in news, sports, or crime? Get the CNC3 app. As the story breaks, CNC3 is there giving you the story first on your mobile device. Be connected to the most trusted and reliable news source, CNC3. Access your world with just a tap. The CNC3 app. Download it today.
Producers, content creators, influencers, and recording artists. If you're looking to rent a versatile studio space with green screen, video wall, cyclorama, and more, look no further. GM Labs is here to make your dreams a reality. Located in the heart of Port of Spain on St. Vincent Street, GM Labs is your one-stop shop for all your creative needs with over 2,800 square feet to work with. Take your creative concept to the final product at GM Labs. Give us a call or WhatsApp or message us on our Instagram and Facebook pages at GM Labs TT.
Tune in to Betterments with host Space, Monday through Thursday, 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. for a program that educates and is solution-based. Space tackles the issues that matter to you, providing a platform to speak your mind and find solutions. That's Betterments with Base, with a focus on education and resolution. This is all about making things better for you. So if you want to make a difference and have your voice heard, tune into Freedom 106.5 FM and join us for Betterments with Base, Monday through Thursday from 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. Better for you. Only on Freedom 106.5 96.5 FM, where we believe that your voice matters.
ये हमारा पुश्तैनी घर है दादाजी, मतलब हमारे ससुर ने बनाया। वीर
Uteran. More drama, more emotion. Uteran. Weekdays at 6 p.m. on CNC3.
Welcome back to the #1 show for news, views, and interviews of all things medical. Our guest this evening is not only an outstanding clinician, but also a thoughtful advocate for child well-being, a voice of reason in challenging times, and a doctor who understands that caring for children means caring for families, communities, and the future itself. It is my absolute pleasure to welcome to the studio Dr. David Bratt, pediatrician, mentor, Guardian columnist, and one of the most trusted names in child health. Happy New Year, sir.
Thank you, and Happy New Year, Joel, and I hope this program continues and does as well as it did in past years.
Thank you very much for your love and support, and in fact, you are the only guest that we've actually had in studio as part of the Medical Minds, and thank you once more for your service and support to Trinidad and Tobago.
It seems to be becoming a recurrent thing too, because this is the third or fourth time I've been on.
So it's a good habit.
I enjoy it each time. I enjoy it each time.
And that pleasure is mutual. Thank you for being part of our program this evening. And for the sake of our viewers, and I know as part of the opening salvo, we discussed the role of healthy resolutions in the new year. What about with respect to children and changing lifestyles? It's the start of a new year, a start of a new term, and of course, examinations beckon. Is there any advice that you'd want to give to parents and to children?
Yes. There are two fairly new syndromes of childhood disease, both of which are related to each other. And the first one is something called nature deficit syndrome. Nature deficit syndrome. And you referred to it indirectly in your opening sequence when you spoke about the need for children, or people, but also children, to play outside. And if there's one thing that a parent can do to make sure its child is growing healthy, is to allow the child to play outside. The play is important.
Yes.
It can't be controlled by an adult. It has to be self-play. So the child decides what it does when it goes outside. So the correlation to that is a lot of people feel that taking their child in a car to a field where there is a coach and there is a system which encourages the child to do a certain activity is good. Well, it certainly is better than the child staying home and not doing anything.
With screen time instead.
We come into screen time in a little while, because that's the second thing that the parent can do to make sure the child is healthy. But so you don't get the real advantage, physical, social, psychological, mental, unless you allow the child to do what it wants outside. And it's a little bit difficult for people to understand this, because you need to let the child learn for itself. That's the way children learn, by themselves and by playing by themselves and playing with other children around them. That's where you get the full capacity of the brain to grow and develop socially and psychologically and peacefully. And those children, by the way, grow better than children who are inside all the time, or who don't get a chance to go out and play and do what they want. This new thing, which began around the turn of the century, around 25, 26 years ago seems to be a very American kind of thing, or North American kind of thing. You don't see it as often in Europe, you don't see it in Africa, you don't see it in China, I'm not sure. In India, you don't see it either. In England, you do see it to a certain extent. I don't know if it's an Anglo-Saxon kind of thing, that parents want to control their children in the belief that by controlling the child is going to develop better. Totally wrong. The children who develop, the best of the children who are left on their own, to play on their own, to use their own imagination. The role of the parent really is security, which is very important.
Of course.
Because nowadays that is
there is a paradigm shift in the country.
Yes. Definitely. Yes. There's no doubt about that. And it can be difficult for a parent to step back and allow their child to go out in the street. Where I live, I'm lucky, it's a dead-end street. We have a couple of children who are up and down the street.
Yes.
And I just love it. Just the kids walk up and down the street, they ride their bicycles, they do whatever they want. And that is really what you want children to do. My next door neighbor has just come back from Australia. They have a 3-year-old, talking about security.
Yes.
And she came back and she said to me, it was so delightful to be in Australia, because whenever we took him to the park, the little 3-year-old park,
yes,
we realized that something was strange, something was different. And then she said we realized what it was. We weren't looking over our shoulder to see if the place was secure, because the place, the entire park itself, was filled with children and with parents, no security guards. And they felt so much at ease, as opposed to here in Trinidad, you try to go into a park. I grew up in Victoria Square.
Yes.
You can't go into Victoria Square. Now, I can't walk through Victoria Square.
What a tragedy.
A tragedy. Yeah. And really and truly, our society has let that go, and the children are suffering. That's why we have so much obesity, and one of the reasons why we have so many mental problems, and why we have children fighting in school and so on. They're not being allowed to grow up on themselves. The second thing, very quickly, is social media anxiety. And social media anxiety comes out of nature deficit. You don't let the children out in the street to play, so they stay home. And they stay home, and now you have this little computer that they can use, and that we know gives them pleasure. It's like a jolt to the pleasure centers of the brain. And now what you're beginning to see is children who are addicted to social media. And this same person that I'm talking about is a teacher, tells me about 4-year-olds who come into her classroom and throw tantrums when she tries to take the phone away from the child. 4 years old. And we know now, we know. You mentioned it already, that all of these children, there's an increase in anxiety in this generation that are growing up since around 2015, in the last 10 years, which is when iPhones and all of these algorithms took place, in which the technical companies know how to manipulate children, because they see what the children are looking at, and then they give them what they like, and they give it to them when they go onto the phone automatically. And it's creating a huge problem, so much so that, to get back to Australia again, for some reason, it's in the news, they have just banned cell phones in schools.
Children less than 16, I believe, yes.
Yes, you can't take it until 16. Other countries are coming along. The Netherlands is about to do it. France has already done some of it. In the UK and in the States and in Canada, many schools are doing it on their own. They're not waiting for the government to do it. And one of the most pleasurable things I've heard in years is the teachers now saying, we are hearing noise in the school corridor again.
Right.
We are hearing children laughing in the school corridors again. Before, there was no laughing, there was no interaction. The children were serious on the iPhone. Yeah. And that has an effect on the mind. And what effect, the long-term effect of that, of course, we don't know. You know, this is just think of giving children cell phone is an experiment that was not thought out, and we're now beginning to realize the consequences of what we did.
So what are some of the physical signs of a child who is battling stress and anxiety? What might be some of the red flags that would alert a parent or caregiver that it has evolved into a problem, especially as we approach exam time?
Yeah, it depends on the age of the child. So physical things like belly pain, constipation, rashes, inexplicable rashes, headaches. Those would be some of the physical things.
Yes.
The mental things are children who are angry, children who are sullen, children who are unhappy, children who give trouble in school, children who suddenly give trouble at home, children who don't sleep well, are waking up. All of those are the manifestations are diverse.
Protean.
You know, it depends really on the age of the child and on the maturity of the child. But children who stop eating.
Yes.
Children who don't want to go outside. Smaller children who stop speaking. So many things. It's quite confusing, and you need to see the child and take a good history and do a physical examination before you decide. And then, of course, you have the problem now of convincing the parents that this is the reason the child is not being allowed to go outside enough. The child is being kept inside. And remember, many parents, now they live on the phone.
Yes.
You brought it up. You talked about maybe on a Sunday
taking a detox from screens.
Detox.
Yes.
And the parents themselves don't want to believe this. Because part of the reason for not believing this, and this is not their fault. Nobody told them anything was wrong. 20 years ago, 15 years ago, I wasn't telling parents that they shouldn't be doing this because we just did not know. We thought, gosh, computers are great. Cell phones are good. They're wonderful. They keep us in touch with the children and all of this. It was fantastic. The children are going to learn more. By the way, Sweden, which started giving their children computers in school about 2010, have just taken them away from the schools. You're not allowed to bring a computer into the schools unless there's a computer class or the teacher gives you permission, because the grades of Swedish pupils have been heading steadily downwards ever since they introduced the computers into school. Computers in schools are great if they're used well. But just to give it to the child without any training and without teacher supervision is a problem. It's like everything else when you're dealing with children. Certain things you have to give them some supervision and then let them loose on the computer for a while so they do their own thing. But keep an eye on them, because there's too much danger. There's too much danger in those social media, right? And there are all sorts of smart men taking advantage of children nowadays.
Absolutely.
On those, that's a whole other problem.
And thank you so much for sharing those pearls of wisdom as we speak about healthy lifestyles in 2026. We have Dr. David Bratt, renowned local pediatrician, and those pearls are useful, I think, in conjunction with the lawmakers at the Ministry of Health and the Ministry of Education. Some thoughts for the coming year. So it's not just enough to speak about roads and traffic or cars and the state thereof. Of course, those are important aspects of public health. But if we're looking towards the future, pearls of wisdom, what a treasure trove we've had so far. It's time for a short break, and when we return to open forum with your questions and hopefully answers, we'll be up next.
Things don't always go as expected. Be ready with Trinry for auto, home, business and group life. Call us at 800-TRIN or visit trinry.com today. Huge insurance premium. Pay your premiums bit by bit with FlexiPay from Trinry. For more manageable auto, home and commercial insurance payments, call us at 800-TRIN or visit trinry.com today. Trinry. Premier insurance coverage for less.
This is more than just music. This is where you find the best of TNT. This is more than just a vibe. This is where Bollywood gets a twist. This is more than just energy. This is Bhangra and indie pop too. This is the mix. This is the life. Lock on or log on now. Sangeet 106.1 FM. This is authentic East Indian radio. This is us.
Some of us like to test limits, but there won't always be second chances. Obey the speed limits. Maybe you don't value your life, but others value theirs. A message from the TTPS.
Welcome back to the open forum of CNC3's Ask the Doctor. We'd love to hear from you with questions of a medical nature. The number's on the screen, and when you're patched through, listen on your telephone rather than the TV set. Our in-studio guest this evening, Dr. David Bratt, renowned pediatrician and revered throughout the region. So we were speaking before the break about the rise in technology and, unfortunately, the negative impact of social media on the developing mind. And of course, some parents are under the impression that the use of smartphones and perhaps the prudent use of technology would be valuable, especially when it comes to examination. Sometimes I wonder whether we are sacrificing things like sleep in the name of success, whether the fact that we become so exam-focused that children are struggling, and could that be an underlying reason to when we're talking about anxiety?
Yes, I definitely think so. I mean, we know in Trinidad there's far too much emphasis on the academic development of children. That is our definition of success. Somebody who does good in the SEA, or somebody who gets their A levels, and so on and so forth. So there is a subgroup of children who will do good on computers and on social media in general, smartphones. But those are the children who are going to do good, I think, yes, regardless.
Sure.
It's the idea that you can just give a child a computer or give a child a smartphone, and that child is automatically going to learn and improve their grades. That is totally wrong. The computer and the smartphone has to be used smartly. And for it to be used smartly, you have to have parents who are aware of this, who themselves are smart, and know what they are doing, and know how to handle the phone and when to stop the phone. And it's very, very difficult to tell a 12-year-old or 13-year-old or 14-year-old that you can't use the phone.
Yes.
These kids, however, when you look at them, they are not sleeping at night because they're on their phones. They lock the door or they close the door, and they're on their phones until 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. And then they can't get up, or when they get up, they're tired.
Yes.
So they're tired, they go to work, they go to school work, because far too often going to school is like work in Trinidad, whereas it should be the opposite. Going to school should be play. Yes. That's the way human beings learn.
Pleasure.
Pleasure, the pleasure center.
Yes.
And so they go to school anxious, and you just wonder, I wonder if that's the reason for some of the violence in schools, because these children are coming to school sleepy, tired, anxious, hyped up because they've been listening to stories and looking at things at night. I mean, we haven't even started to talk about the problem of porn.
Oh yes.
With teenagers.
That's also a separate problem.
Parents sometimes seem to me, they say to me, my child wouldn't look at that. Really? Really? I mean, come on. We used to, as young boys, you would have magazines and pictures, puberty. Sure. Far less now when you have it live.
It's part of the technology.
And it's easy to get. So that is a huge problem, and I don't think parents are aware enough of these problems. But you really have to. You know, I'm saying that children should be allowed to do their own thing, and I'm also saying they need to be guided by the parents.
Well said.
Parents, you know.
Well said. Phone lines are burning up. Hello, good evening, and welcome to Ask the Doctor.
Hi, good evening. Happy New Year.
Same to you and your family.
I am suffering with a new thing called neuropathy. I am suffering real bad.
Yes, ma'am.
No sleep at night. Pain. Can you help me, please?
Yes. Thank you very much for taking the time to call in. I don't know if you wanted to start, or would you like me to handle this bouncer?
I think this is a get in the wicket, defend yourself.
Thank you very much for taking the time to be a part of our show. And the word neuropathy refers to nerve damage or nerve disease, and the commonest reason is actually diabetes, where those small nerve fibers are affected, and there may be burning, lancing, numbness, a pins and needles sensation. There's an old term, junjuni, which affects the legs and the hands. Now, diabetes may be the commonest cause in the world, but it is by no means the only reason. Persons who drink large volumes of alcohol, if you have a low level of vitamin B12, if you have been prescribed certain medications or had a history of cancer, they may be associated with nerve damage. And these symptoms can be very distressing. We could hear that in your voice, affecting sleep, your quality of life, and even increasing the risk for depression and anxiety. So your first step would be to determine whether there's an underlying cause. So if you're having high blood sugars, we want to get that under control. Or if you have a low level of B12, perhaps you'd want to control, and your doctor would look through, your primary care doctor would investigate if there is perhaps a drug-induced cause. Do you have problems with your liver, kidneys, and underactive thyroid? These may all be contributing to what we call peripheral, those smaller nerve fibers, neuropathy, nerve damage or problems affecting the nerves. There are medications that would be recommended for persons after you try to treat if there is an underlying cause. There are some drugs that help with nerve pain. You'd want to ask your doctor whether gabapentin, pregabalin, or duloxetine. It's a mouthful, but many patients viewing this program would be battling similar symptoms. So we wish you all the best, and if necessary, a referral from your primary care doctor to a neurologist who is a specialist that handles problems affecting the nerves. So the brain and spinal cord are the factory for our nerves. Those are referred to as a central nervous system, and that list which I mentioned refers to what we refer to as peripheral neuropathy. Our next caller hails from the east as Aruka is in the house. Good evening and Happy New Year.
Hi, good evening. Happy New Year to you, Doc.
Thank you for being part of our show.
You're welcome. I'm just calling to find out about pain in my knees. For a number of years, I've been experiencing lots of pain in my knees. I would go to the hospital, the doctors, they would say it's joint and arthritis, but the pain is constant.
Yes. And you sound like a very young lady, and you've been having this pain for some time. Yes. And what was recommended as part of your management for this pain? Was it just tablets to ease it? Or you did some tests, like blood investigations or x-rays?
Yes, I did. And they all came back and they were saying it's the ligaments that are worn or the tissues.
Okay. Thank you very much for taking the time to call in. But would you like to ask her anything specific?
I was just wondering what the profession of the young lady is. Is she a dancer, a ballet dancer, an athlete?
Sure.
Because that's where you have to start with pain in the knees. In children, we have a very common cause of pain in the knee, which is children who have grown a lot suddenly and who are quite active, and then they develop this pain where the muscle at the front of the thigh inserts just below the kneecap. It pulls at it because of the body, the bone has grown, but the muscle hasn't grown as much.
Yes.
So the muscle relatively becomes short, and then there is over-exercise, overuse of that muscle. So it pulls at the insertion, and it causes an inflammation. And that is a very common, it has a big name. that is not important here. But that heals on its own. So when she is talking about this, Miss, you're young, I was just wondering about your activity and whether that played a role in it. Of course, there are other causes that you would be more aware of, arthritis and so on, which is rare in children.
Yes.
But as you get older, as you get to my age especially, the knees hurt a lot.
You certainly don't look like that. So, and I know that you've been doing some vigorous walking.
Yes, that's true.
Especially in the new year, and we look forward to that. And that word arthritis means joint inflammation, but it's not really a specific diagnosis. It may be due to wear and tear, rheumatoid arthritis in younger people, especially in women in their 20s or 30s. It may be due to antibodies attacking the joints. The levels of uric acid quite high. Yes. Is it one of an immune-mediated problem? So it warrants perhaps some further investigation, particularly in a young person with persistent knee pain.
Yes, she's far too young to be complaining of this amount of knee pain. I mean, in a sense, something needs to be done. Something needs to be done.
So and it's a lovely point about perhaps lifestyle changes might be a first step.
Yeah.
So we're back to the phone lines. Good evening and welcome to Ask the Doctor. Hello.
Hello, good afternoon. Good night.
Thank you for joining us, sir, and Happy New Year.
Same to you, Dr. Joel. First time caller.
A pleasure to hear
from your
voice.
area.
Yes, sir.
So congrats.
Thank you.
A quick issue here, but I mean, it's something that's been troubling me for quite a while.
Yes, sir.
45, I recently had an allergic reaction after taking a tablet called Aprazole for my stomach.
Yes.
And my feet was swollen, my hands were swollen, my mouth, my tongue was swollen. So I had an allergic reaction, and they had given me Piriton and prednisolone. So I took that regime, and after a while, the symptoms diminished. The swelling of the tongue went down almost immediately, so I realized it was an allergic reaction. But days after that, my feet kept on swelling. And after visiting the doctor, he diagnosed me with angioedema, basis my pressure medication as a side effect. And they changed the pressure medication to Lenzo-Denk or something like that. So it's an angiotensin medication I am taking now.
Yes.
However, from time to time, I'm still getting the swelling of the limbs in terms of the feet. Nothing major to talk about, but it's present. It's bothering me. I did take a test, which was the kidney function test. Everything came back okay. And also I did the heart function in terms of ECG and chest x-ray.
Yes.
So those things checked out back normally, but ever so often I find my feet still look a little swollen. So I don't know if it's just me, or do I need to further investigate what's causing this edema or swelling.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much for taking the time to call in. So it's a fascinating sequence of events with this chap who seemed to have had an allergic reaction to a medication used for stomach acid, and for the sake of our viewers, patients who have reflux of acid sometimes would be prescribed this drug. It's available freely on CDAP. And the drug used in hypertension, sometimes those pills like lisinopril or enalapril, which are widely prescribed, and they act at certain levels in the kidney. They have been associated with swollen lips and a tongue. So I'm not sure whether the term he used, the angioedema, was what the doctor would have wanted to switch his drug used in hypertension for, to one that would be less likely to cause this uncommon side effect. Yes. And fair enough, because it could happen in people who have used these pills. So that suffix pril is associated uncommonly with swollen lips and a tongue, even if you've been prescribed for years prior to the symptoms. Now, the allergic reaction to omeprazole is a separate entity, and the swollen ankles could also represent a different diagnosis. So I don't know if you wanted to add to that.
What I would like to add is that I don't think he should sit down and accept what has been diagnosed, because as you know, I mean, swelling of the legs in somebody who has some sort of cardiovascular problem can be a serious thing. So that really needs to be sorted out. So he needs to have that problem of whether the legs are really swelling or not cleared up, and to find out what the cause is. I'm not sure exactly what has been done so far, what he meant by a kidney test, because you can do a simple kidney test, you examine the urine, but that's not enough.
True.
He had an ECG and a chest x-ray, but that may not be enough.
Sure.
There may be further investigations that need to be done. So I wouldn't sit down, I think, and accept.
But that seems wise. Perhaps a liver function, a thyroid, a scan on the heart, by the echocardiogram. You're a young man, 45 years of age with hypertension. It warrants looking at some further organs.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Yes. Our next caller hails from Central Trinidad. Good evening and welcome to our show.
Hi, good evening, Doc.
Welcome. Thank you for being part of our program, and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you too, sir.
Yes.
Doc, I have a little different sort of question. I am wondering that the health of our people, right?
Yes.
Our citizens in Trinidad and Tobago, is our health deteriorating because of situations that we are going through in our lives? For instance, take for instance the potholes. I join a parallel to it. Is it like when you go down in a pothole to your car, is it like a blocked artery in you? Is what we have to go through with traffic and with these fines and whatever? I mean,
very interesting analogy.
Sometimes our health deteriorates.
Yes.
Because of these type of stresses, maybe more than physical medical conditions. I read the articles, and hence the reason I'm asking this type of question and not just a purely medical question.
Absolutely.
So I'm wondering that, and tell me about that this evening for a minute, please.
And thank you for contributing with a very insightful observation that whether there are external factors that negatively impact on the health of our nation. But Dr. Bratt.
Yeah, I think this is one of the most important questions we have had asked here.
Brilliant and incisive.
Yes, and of course the answer is yes. The answer is yes. All of the stuff that we're going through, not only nationally but internationally, people are uneasy. What's happening? There seems to be a changing of the guard, and what is good is now bad, and what is bad is now good. And then locally we have all of these little problems with your computer, problems with driving, problems with school, all of that. On top of the social media, the poor children with the phones, all of that is causing mental problems, anxiety, and that obviously affects you physically. It affects your high blood pressure. It affects everything. So it's a very important question. We aren't at ease in Trinidad the way we used to be. I'm old enough to remember how it used to be in the 60s. We aren't at ease as it used to be. And that's not helping our people. It's not helping our people.
What a marvelous way to close our program this evening. And we say a special thank you, Dr. Bratt, to you and your family. Thank you for your love, support, and service.
It's a pleasure coming on this show, Joel. It's a really pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Yes, but the honor is mine. And indeed, thank you to all of our viewers, our callers, and firm fans of Ask the Doctor. Our closing quote, I think, is relevant for 2026 from that poet laureate during Victorian time in the United Kingdom, Lord Alfred Tennyson. Hope smiles from the threshold of the year to come, whispering, it will be happier. As we stand at the doorway of a new year, hope doesn't promise perfection or an easy road. It simply offers reassurance that tomorrow can be gentler than yesterday. For our children, for families, and for anyone feeling uncertain, that quiet smile of hope is often exactly what we need. Not pressure to be better, but permission to believe things can be happier. Thank you for trusting me to walk beside you each week, in your homes and in your hearts. To my team behind the lens, to the marvelous Neela and baby Daniel, to our superb guest in studio, Dr. David Bratt, and to you, our viewers, stay strong, stay curious, and never stop choosing kindness. Rest, reflect, love deeply. God bless, and we'll see you next week on Ask the Doctor.
You're watching CNC3.
Lie is sponsored by. You have a hair story that's so